morning and welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett here on News 6 Plus, clickorlando.com, and our YouTube channel for News 6. It is Tuesday, October 22nd. I'm Bridgett Ellison. Good to be with you. And this morning we have a live interview coming up with a doctor about the FDA's new guidelines surrounding mammograms. So we'll cover all the details with that for all ages, all genders, even the issues with breast density that many of you know about if you have had to go through this testing. So we'll get that expert insight from a doctor here locally from Orlando Health in just a few moments. But we're getting ready to get you out the door, and Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos has our pinpoint accurate forecast. We've been enjoying some mild weather, which is really helping out with, getting out to get things cleaned up since the hurricane, getting lots of things done. But I think we're trying to get Candace, but we'll get to her in just a moment. But there she is. So what we're dealing with though is some really mild weather, Candace, and that doesn't mean no rain though. We still had some sprinkles throughout the day, which we need, but no washouts.
A couple of spotty showers really can't be ruled out at the end of the day, as we're going to continue to see that strong breeze in place. So the winds will be kicking up between about 10 to 15, a little stronger along the coastlines. So that's going to be bringing in a couple more of those scattered showers like we dealt with yesterday.
Yeah.
So let's take it to the map, show you what's going on across Central Florida. It's a breezy afternoon. Once again, we're going to be dealing with those isolated showers. Now, we are going to be dealing with that cold front that's going to be coming in late this week into early next week. Now, with that being said, is this going to be a cold front that is going to be bringing a lot of rain or a lot of a big punch of cold air behind it? That is not the case. This is just going to be one of those cold fronts that are coming through. You don't even know they're coming through. But once they do, it's kind of reinforcing those nice conditions. And then let's talk tropics real quick. No concerns for us here in Central Florida. Let me just start off by saying that. But there is a but in that we are watching Tropical Storm Oscar. It is pretty close to our coastline, which is interesting because when it's not a concern, you could have a system so close to home, but if you trust the forecast, you don't even know what's out there, right, at that point. Unfortunately, you can't say the same for Cuba. Right now, they were dealing with a lot of rain, mudslides, flooding issues, just because Oscar sat over the eastern tip of Cuba for so long. But now it's making its way into the Bahamas and will continue to push out to the open waters. But we are going to be watching closely the Caribbean. There's no area to watch right now, but there is a couple little features that certainly will kind of start to light up, though, as we head into next week around Halloween. I left my clicker, so I have to roll. Hold on a second.
Okay.
So this is Tropical Storm Oscar, still looking at sustained winds of 40 miles per hour. We are going to continue to see the potential for that to maintain pretty, decent tropical characteristics as we head into the afternoon and early next week. So just do be aware of that could be roughing up our surf. Look at the tropical depression here. You can see we are going to continue to watch these little icons here that are going to start developing a chance. Not a very good chance, but still there will be the potential that as we head into around Halloween, there will be that chance of dealing with a little bit of more tropical development. Does that mean we're going to get a big time named storm? Does this mean that we're going to be dealing with a tropical system locally here? No, but it is the end of October, beginning of November, and we still just can't let our guards down at this point in time because at the end of the day, hurricane season does run through November 30th. All right, let's look at those wind speeds right now. They're still clocking upwards of about 15 to 25 miles per hour, and that's certainly going to be a concern as we head into the afternoon, as we will still see that potential for rough surf, high surf advisory, high risk of rip currents out there, as well as a small craft advisory. Looking here at the clouds and rain forecast, you can see those scattered showers continuing to kind of clip parts of the coastline. Not extremely widespread, Bridgett, but in and out clouds. That breeze will continue, and within some of that cloud cover, there will be that potential of dealing with a couple of those scattered showers. In the meantime, though, just a beautiful setup for today. Tons of sunshine, highs near normal. We're in those mid 80s. And then as we head into the evening hours tonight, upper 60s, low 70s, about 70 degrees there in Kissimmee, 74 degrees in Melbourne. Right now out the door, it's just a nice start. You don't really need a jacket or anything like that. It's just going to be a nice, comfortable stretch. And you can see that rain chance sits about 20% throughout the afternoon, between about 1 and about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And as we get get results here with your full 7-day forecast. You can see mid 80s across the board. We'll have that cold front come through late Thursday into Friday, re-ushering in another batch of just really nice weather. Highs and lows will be staying near normal, which is certainly a welcome change after we dealt with such hot and sweltering conditions all summer long. But overall, not too bad. Upper 60s will be our overnight lows. So, just maybe you want to take a nice little stroll outside, maybe take lunch outside or dinner outside, just kind of embrace this nice change. Looks like by the time we head into after Halloween, that's when we'll start to see some of those warmer temperatures start creeping back in. But as of now, looks like we will have a pretty near normal Halloween on tap.
Very nice. So, not gonna just sweat it out in some of those hotter costumes so far.
Depends what costume you're talking about, Bridget.
Well, like the one you showed me.
So my daughter's my youngest wants to be Elsa from Frozen 2. She was very specific. She didn't want Frozen 1, but she wanted to be Elsa. So no one's Olaf with her, so I decided that I'm going to be Olaf. She said, Mom, why don't you be Anna? But I don't like Anna's costume from Frozen 2. I like Anna's costume from Frozen 1.
Well,
so I don't want to
mix his name. What's the moose's name? I forget the moose's name.
Oh my God, it's Sven and no, Sven. It's Kristoff and Sven. You want me to be a moose instead?
Snowman,
I don't know
moose.
if that's cooler.
Probably not. No.
Yeah.
A lot of bad jokes around that. Let's just go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave.
All right, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Candace.
Escape. Goodbye.
All right. All right. Thanks, Candace. So we do have some top headlines to get to. Like I said, we will get to the doctor after our first commercial break. But first up today, big development in the murder trial of Sarah Boon. She's expected to take the stand today. So News 6's Angie Quesada has more on that.
He's begging for you to let him out. You're laughing in the beginning, and then in the end, it sounds kind of like no, it's not malicious.
Sarah Boon, the Orange County woman accused of killing her boyfriend by leaving him in a zipped-up suitcase in 2020, insists what happened was not intentional. The jurors watching hours of video yesterday of her being questioned by detectives.
It was not intentional. I will put my hand on the Bible. It was not intentional.
Boon says she and George Torres were playing a drunken game of hide and seek at the time.
So you all think that it's like, oh good, I got him in there, now I'm going to go sleep? Is that what you guys are trying to assume? Or trying to the video is very portraying of the opposite of what you told us.
The state medical examiner showed jurors diagrams and photos of injuries she says were consistent of being hit with a baseball bat and the suitcase being thrown down a flight of stairs. Both the state is accusing Boon of doing.
And so we'll be following that, of course. We've been keeping you updated every day on what's happening with the Boon murder trial. Now to a case of a dog napping. Right now, there are 2 Frenchies that are missing. Their owner is out of town, and a family member was dog sitting the dogs, but apparently there was a break-in of some sort, and now those dogs are missing. News 6's Treasure Roberts has more on the search for these dogs and how you can help.
We're angry, we're worried. And we're nervous.
Also vulnerable. That's why this Windermere woman spoke to me over Zoom and asked that we don't show her face.
When they get caught, we're just afraid, are they going to come back for more?
Friday, she was out of town and her son was on his way back home.
He had gone to eat and came back and found the house was ransacked.
Her son recalled what he noticed.
My whole back door was smashed in.
Shattered glass was everywhere. But the most heartbreaking part, French bulldogs Bodie and Asher were stolen.
We're very emotional and it has me sick to my stomach.
The dog nappers were caught on her Ring camera. The woman says after busting in, the suspects unlocked the front door. They were seen going in the front door together, then one after the other running back outside, each with a dog in hand. These Frenchies belong to her sister, who is currently out of the country.
How did your sister react when you told her that her dogs were stolen?
She's devastated. Pets become a part of your family. And unfortunately, she was never able to have children. These are her children. It took them a long time to decide what they wanted. And, now they finally got them, and they're gone.
Her son called the police to report the robbery. She told me officers found blood in the home and dusted for prints.
Do you almost feel unsafe in your own home, which was once your safe place?
Absolutely. This has been I've always called it my castle. This is my castle. This is my safety. This is my safe space. I'm really considering wanting to move.
Outside of the concern for her family's safety, she hopes the dogs are okay, asking that anyone who knows anything call the police.
The only thing I could hope is that whoever has them isn't mistreating them. We just hope to be able to get them back. It's all we want is we want them back.
Treasurer Roberts, Getting Results, News 6.
And so anyone who might have information on those missing dogs that were stolen from that home in Windermere is urged to call police. So hopefully we'll have an update on that. Remember yesterday we talked to Matt early on breakfast about him coming in to go out in Results 1 and get results in real time. So we wanted to follow up this morning and see how it went. Here's Matt.
It is 8:08 a.m. We're about to get results in real time. It's time to make some phone calls and figure out who we're going to help today.
Yes.
Hey, this is Matt Austin with Channel 6. How are you doing today? Did you have damage from Hurricane Milton?
My roof got ripped up and it's a mobile home.
Okay, we're getting ready to head to Apopka. She just sent me these photos right here so I know what we're looking at. And this is some of the damage she's dealing with, including what looks like some mold. So let's go see it for ourselves. Hey, Brian.
Yes.
Hey, my friend, this is Matt Austin over at Channel 6. How you doing today? So on the way there, I called our partners at BFAR Contracting. So we have a viewer with an issue with a roof today. We're here in Apopka now, and I am with Brittany Wedgwood, who has damage from Hurricane Milton. The inside of her house is wet, and she's just trying to figure out things. Thanks for calling us out, Brittany. How are we doing right now?
We're trying to make do and get by with what we have and trying to find the help that we can get. I mean, just trying to keep positive.
Yeah. About an hour later, Brian showed up to assess the situation.
So, I mean, this probably was manufactured in the 60s or 70s, and the codes just are nothing near what they are today. So what was allowed then isn't allowed today. And everything that is done today, even on a re-roof, has to be done to current codes. So that's what throws us into the problem.
Not the news Brittany and her family wanted to hear. The age of the home and the fact that it's a mobile home are going to make the repairs hard. What is keeping the water out of your house?
Just bisqueen plastic from Home Depot and roofing tape because it was only like $100 and something to put on.
So there is some water intrusion right now. The roofers are going to try to seal it up the best they can so that future storms in the coming days, any rain coming in, will be out of the house. But the roof was not the only problem. When power left this house, all of the food inside spoiled. So we called our partners at Light Orlando, who pulled some strings and got their friends, the Catholic Charities, to bring over a ton of fresh food for the family. So this family should get a good amount of food to be able to get them through a little while?
Hopefully, yeah. Juan's gonna hook them up. We're gonna take care of them today.
You feel okay about things?
I'm still trying to process things, but yes, I feel great.
Fantastic. Well, if you look on your front porch there,
It is just full of food.
what does it make you think? How does it make you feel?
Hopeful
Yeah.
and happy. And I feel like, somebody.
Yeah. You are somebody.
Oh, thank you.
The News 6, were we able to get results for you today?
Very quickly and a lot of results, especially with the roof and everything. So
Well, I'm glad we could help.
thank you.
So at the beginning of this story, we thought to fix this roof, it would cost about $10,000. But BFAR Contracting took a look at the satellite pictures of this home and found a different solution, maybe a silicone coating. And they've already called the manufacturer called GAF, who says they will donate the materials. BFAR says instead of $10,000, it's going to cost closer to $2,000. That's Getting Results in Apopka. I'm Matt Austin, News 6.
So that turned out really well. And we have some more follow up to this on clickorlando.com. If you're looking for answers from FEMA about ways to get support and ways to get resources to get repairs or anything of that nature, click on that story and submit your questions, because we'll be talking to a senior FEMA official to get some answers. So check that out on clickorlando.com right now. We're taking a quick break. We're back with more about the new FDA guidelines around mammograms, since it is October and we're working on spreading more awareness around breast cancer prevention. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. You know, last Friday we had pink on everywhere. We had a pink News 6 bug, and we talked about Mammogram Day. And of course, you know, October is known as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so this morning we're talking to Dr. Jeffrey Smith, a breast cancer surgeon at Orlando Health. Thanks for taking a few moments to be with us.
Honored to be on with you, Bridgett, and really appreciate the opportunity to talk during October, as you mentioned, with it being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and to promote the benefits of mammography and screening and early detection. So thank you very much.
Well, and you know, this is something that you're working on every day. So what's really encouraging for you from the standpoint of the care you're able to provide from the levels of awareness, prevention, and even surgery right now?
So as you kind of alluded to, one of the things that we really try to promote is early detection. The earlier breast cancer is identified, the better the outcome. Once somebody, unfortunately, may have a diagnosis of breast cancer, we work very hard to put together a team to identify the specific type of cancer, and then also to put together a treatment plan that will hopefully generate the best outcomes possible. And so it can include further workup with our radiology colleagues, but then also with surgery, medical oncology, radiation oncology, sometimes plastic surgery as well, and then ultimately survivorship programs. And we even incorporate lifestyle programs with nutrition and exercise and mental and psychological support to help patients throughout the entire journey.
And it really seems like we're seeing more and more early detection, but unfortunately, I mean, we still see people succumbing to the disease. So it's not something that we can afford to sort of get complacent with or let our guard down on right now.
Yeah, so I mean, we're actually seeing increasing rates, especially in younger women, and that's certainly quite distressing to everyone involved. And again, you know, I think we come back to early detection and screening, and so from a woman's point of view, if you ever feel something that doesn't seem quite right, if something persists, just kind of body awareness and being in tune with yourself. If you think something isn't isn't quite right, then that certainly prompts further evaluation and then potentially testing and diagnosis. Mammograms are probably our best screening tool in terms of identifying early stage breast cancer. And it's something that we certainly promote across the board. But if you have other risk factors, if you have a family history of breast cancer, if you've had prior biopsies or have dense breast tissue, those are all things that we would then consider even increasing our surveillance and just kind of our overall trying to be as proactive as possible in terms of identifying this.
And so what is it with the guidelines saying every other year then, in terms of like who would that apply to versus someone who probably would possibly need more frequent screenings?
So guidelines are just that. They're guidelines. And so there's never any one size fits all. Those guidelines with respect to every other year mammograms apply best to patients that are of very low risk in terms of breast cancer. But patients that are at higher risk, and those can be from family history, it can be certain hormonal exposures, it can be prior biopsies, and it can also be dense breast tissue. All of those things are evaluated during a visit with your clinician. And if you're at moderate or at high risk, we would still consider doing annual mammograms. And then for those patients that have denser breast tissue or have other risk factors, sometimes we'll even consider supplemental imaging, which may include ultrasound or MRI.
Mm-hmm. I know there's that issue of the density that comes up a lot. And so from speaking with people and even some of these recent reports that have come out from some of the health journals, we get scared. We don't want to go back for the follow-ups. It's frustrating, you know, going through the additional screenings and sort of the emotional toll as well. What can you say to that in terms of just how to function if you're a person who constantly deals with the density issue that comes up from your screenings and your tests?
Yeah, so I mean, certainly we want patients to be engaged in their health, and whether it's screening for breast cancer or living a healthier lifestyle for cardiovascular health, we certainly want patients to be engaged in their health, and so some of that is knowing your own risk factors. Some of it's going to be engaging in healthy lifestyle activities in terms of exercise and good nutrition, getting good sleep, good community ties. So we certainly understand that, unfortunately, sometimes some of the interventions that we do can be a little bit overwhelming. Sometimes they can be anxiety provoking, and that's certainly not the intent. But unfortunately, that's the reality for some patients, and we try to do the best that we can do to minimize that.
But I guess what I'm saying is we've seen some drop off in people following up because they are sort of tired of that cycle of, you have dense tissue, we need you to come back in, we need to do additional tests. And so you don't want to lose those people, but yet they're like, oh, you know, I got that dense tissue result again, and I've got to go back again for another. So it can be a little draining, but you just really can't afford to take that chance.
Yeah,
to skip
so unfortunately, dense breast tissue is in and of itself an independent risk factor for breast cancer. So those are, to your point, exactly the patients that we want to continue to screen and want to be proactive. One of the things that we can try to do is that patients that have known dense breast tissue, we do try to combine the testing so that you're not being called back multiple times, and you try to kind of incorporate everything into one visit so that you can kind of get that out of the way. And hopefully, you know, we certainly hope that there's a clean bill of health, so to speak, and that then we don't need to do anything further. But if something's found, first of all, not everything that is found is breast cancer, and so I would try to be somewhat reassuring in that if we're working up a mass or something that we see on a mammogram, that it's just that we're just working something up and trying to get some more information. But if it is breast cancer, we certainly want to identify it as early as possible. Again, early detection and early diagnosis projects a far better outcome than if there's a delay in treatment or delay in diagnosis.
And so what is your elevator pitch or your dinner table talk when people want to know about some of the best practices or some of the best diets, or what your recommendations are around making sure you stay healthy? And that goes for men as well.
Yeah, so in terms of first of all, getting outside, moving, getting good sleep. We live in a world of screens and televisions and lights, and a lot of times our nights are brighter than what they should, and we don't sleep well. And I think that's really a cornerstone to overall health. In terms of a diet, there's no one single diet or kind of niche diet that I think I would promote specifically, other than saying that a natural diet is best. We live, unfortunately, in the United States, we live with a food system that has a lot of processed foods, a lot of packaged foods, and things that just aren't natural. And so I think trying to get back as close to a natural diet as what we can. Getting some exercise is certainly beneficial across the board, and then having good social ties. We live in a world where loneliness is becoming almost epidemic in its own nature, and that has severe consequences not only for our psychological health but even our physical health as well.
It all ties together. All right, where can we go for more information before I let you go, Dr. Smith?
Well, so I would direct to our Orlando Health Cancer Institute website, and there's a lot of good information there. If there's certainly any questions, we'd be happy to try to help out, and we're here for you if you need us. But as I, hopefully not. But we certainly appreciate the opportunity to talk this morning. And again, I would certainly, with October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, if you haven't had a mammogram in a while, I would certainly, again, promote getting that. That's probably our best. Again, it's our best screening tool for early detection.
Super. Well, we appreciate your time this morning, and hope to see you again soon right here.
All right. Thank you very much.
Take care. Thanks. All right, so we are out of time, but we'll be back at noon with more news and weather updates for you, and we'll be right back here tomorrow at 7:30 with more breakfast. Have a great day.
So do I click out then?
Yeah, you can just
okay.
click out.